Howdy, Ags. AP Corey from the Tailgate, brought to you by Frida Homes, building Aggie dreams. FridaHomes.com. Visit them, give them a call, get your building needs taken care of. Don't forget to email us at agstailgate@gmail.com. Send us some comments. Visit us on YouTube. Let me start with good news today, Corey. Good news. Astros go up 3-0 against the Yankees. One more win to get to the World Series. That is the only good news I got for you, buddy.
Yeah. I hear you.
All right. We're going to get right into this deal, man.
Let's go.
So, last night, go over to South Carolina, and the Aggies lose 24-30. And, you know, we talked about it. Look, they come out. They're not ready to play, right? Give up the opening kickoff for a touchdown miss. I don't know how many tackles there. Very next play, INT. You know, the series, INT. Very next series, the fumbled snap. They're not prepared to deal with the noise on the road. None of those things. They just come out not ready to play. But it's funny. We're obviously going to focus in on that. Everybody's going to focus in on that. They lost in the second half, by the way, 13-10. So it's not like, okay, they got through that, and then the rest of the game they were coming back, and they just didn't make the final push. At the end of the day, they got beat in the second half.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there was a lot of stuff that, I mean, we couldn't get back in the game. We got in a hole 17-0. Then we kicked a field goal, made it 17-3. Kicked another field goal, made it 17-6. Then we scored that touchdown to Max Wright, who I thought played a good game.
Nice game.
You know, because Green went out with a little injury, so Max had to step up. Caught a touchdown pass, caught another pass on the out for a first down. Then they got the 2-point conversion, made it 17-14. We're feeling a little bit like, hey, maybe all the bad stuff is behind us. But then it just, our offense did not look good. How many false starts do we have? 6, I think? 7? It was huge. It was
7,
huge.
8.
I mean, every drive killers, momentum, anything you get, a false start kills you. We weren't ready for the noise. We talked about that. The noise got to us. It's just frustrating. It seems like we weren't coaching. I mean, we said it all season. The other team was better prepared than we were.
Look, and they do come back in the first half and get that game to within 14-17, right? Well, field goal game at that point.
Mm-hmm.
They get the ball with about a minute left, 50 seconds left.
We didn't even try anything.
The first half, we're not even going to try.
50 seconds is an eternity in college football.
With a timeout.
With the timeout. I mean, the clock stops after every first down. Incomplete passes.
But they were getting the ball in the second half. Of course, they get the ball in the second half. They go 7 straight passes, and they fucking punt, right?
Well, we don't have a very good running back, I guess.
You know, that and that's part of the frustrating part. They get to that point, and you think, okay, maybe the talent's going to start to show here. Maybe the talent now is going to start breaking through.
Yeah.
And you get the opening drive in the third quarter and one other one down by 3, and you can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Then defense finally gives one up. They get that other touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
You get 2 more. You come back. Offensively, we score off of the short field when Diggs gets a strip sack.
Yeah.
You get 2 more drives within 3 points to take a lead, and you can't do anything.
No. We can't do a thing.
You know, one of those was Connor, right? But it didn't matter. It didn't matter who it was.
It didn't matter.
But you can't do anything. And then they finally come back and, you know, get that last touchdown that, you know, sort of puts the whole thing away. But this offense continues to be inept.
They do. I agree. I agree. Now, it is something that we said last night. When Connor came in the game, we said between redshirt freshmen and true freshmen on the field when Connor came in. Do you remember what we talked about? There was like 7 or 8 either redshirt or true freshmen in the game. 3 on the O-line, quarterback, tight end, and 2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
Marshall and Stewart.
Yeah.
That's a lot of freshmen. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses.
But here's the thing, Corey. Excuses to me, are like buttholes.
Oh,
everybody's got them, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. They all stink,
yeah.
right? So he knows the situation.
Yeah.
Jimbo, knows the situation. He knows he's got 3 redshirt or true freshmen on the offensive line. He knows he's got all those situations happening. He knows he's decided to put the freshman wide receiver on the field. And look, Stewart had a good game, and he continues to produce.
Yeah.
And I'll get into Stewart a little bit more later. But, all those things are true. The tight end, look, Max Wright made a bunch of plays. You could have had him out on the field during that time. Now, don't get me wrong. Green doesn't seem to be the issue either. He looks nice I
don't think so
in his pass sets and everything else, right? And so, those guys are in there. Sure. But those guys are in there. Mm-hmm. What gets me, and this is what gets me, is that no matter how you slice it, at the beginning of the year, nobody thought this was a big game, right? Mm-hmm. We've beaten South Carolina 8 times in a row or whatever it is, right?
Since we've been in the SEC.
SEC. And so everybody sort of just writes this one off as no big game. But by the time we got to this point, this is a big game.
Yeah.
Coming off of a bye week.
It's a game you can't lose.
You cannot lose
this game.
And we were talking about it as we were watching football around the country.
Yeah.
And, you will watch a team like TCU, and what do we say? They sit in there and they set up those little wide receiver screens on the sideline. Boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden, they get that guy out from in the slot, and, he's blocked. Oh, never mind. Over the little pump, boom, over the top, wide open.
Yeah.
Jimbo's plays never set each other up.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason for pairing the plays together. And there's nothing in that playbook we're going to be a little trickery or anything to try to get a big play when you need a big play.
Do you remember Jimbo's halftime talk to the reporter, what he said? What we need to do in the second half?
What did he say?
We need to run the ball.
Yeah.
We need to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
What did he do when he came out in the second half?
7 straight passes.
7. Not 6, not 5, 7.
7. His excuse is, some of those were RPOs.
Some of them were RPOs.
The play I liked the most, and I think it was H.A.'s touchdown. They line up in 2 backs with a fullback, a tight end, get in there and run the freaking lead to the left-hand side. Boom, 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 touchdown.
You got a young offensive line. Let's get them in the game. Let's get some running. What do offensive linemen like to do? They like to run, go downfield, go downhill, hit people. Let's get them jarred up.
And here's the other thing. Now we talk about the run. In the second half, the running game started to cool down a little bit. They weren't able to get some of the plays. Well, they start going to a lot of the zone stuff. In the first half, a lot of the better plays were out of the gap scheme, running the power, pulling the guard and the tight end back in through there.
Yeah.
Going weak side on that, right?
Yeah.
And A-Chain was able to make some plays and do some things. And then in the second half, it's zone, 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 right? And the best running plays we've had all year come out of that gap scheme.
Yeah.
Why is that not your base? Why is that not your base play? Power, 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 power.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right?
It doesn't.
So, and look, A-Chain got 20 carries?
20, yeah. Moss got a couple carries. I mean,
Le'Veon Moss, got in the game and did.
He had that one nice little run.
Yeah.
It was on the outside run also, like you're talking about.
So, but the frustrating part for me is that you watch that offense and it has no continuity. It has no the plays don't connect, right?
It's not smooth. It's not like watching these other games we watched. TCU brought up. I told you during the TCU games, they were down 18 or 20. I was like, hey, I'm not worried about TCU.
Right.
I was like, they'll come back and probably win this game. They did win the game by 10.
Yeah.
And they were down 28-14 or something, 13. I don't even know what it was.
28-10, I think.
The Aggies get down 17-0. We're like, where are we going to score 17 points at?
And I'm telling you, man, it's just because of the construction of the offense. It really is a matter of plays don't match up,
Yeah.
There's nothing there to create indecisiveness by a defense.
Well, there's not mismatches is what you look for as a coach, and he's not looking for those. He's not setting you up as a run for the play action. He's not doing that. He's already got like a set. I'm going to call this play.
He'll come out on first down. Yeah. He's going to throw it on first down. He'll come out of empty.
Yeah, he doesn't get the defensive eyes looking anywhere. They're all going downhill after our quarterback because they know their offensive line. We're probably going to pass the ball because 90% of our plays are passes.
And what did I say that, I'd sit in there and we come out and it was 1st and 15 after a penalty. And I said, well, he's throwing it now.
Got to.
And if I know that, the defense knows that because Jimbo, that's his go-to, right? Or you don't get a gain on first down. What's he going to do on second down? He's going to throw it.
And that RPO is not an RPO because we pass it every time.
Every time.
An RPO, you got to hand the ball off sometimes, or at least quarterback run it to make it a real RPO. Otherwise, it's just a
pass.
That's all it is.
Just a pass.
Yeah.
Look, and here's something that bothers me. They talked about it during the broadcast. They talked about, all right, the best game they played all year was Alabama. 48% of the snaps they used motion. Okay. Interesting. The next best game they play all year, Miami, that was like 38%. Everything else.
What about Arkansas? We won that game.
No, Arkansas was lower.
Okay.
So it was Miami. And then the rest of them are all like 20% or whatever. But even the motions that he uses are like not even purposeful motions that bring some sort of deception, right? He motions him, he gets him set, they did with Lane the other day. Mm-hmm. They'll set and then they'll come back and run the play. There's not like motion where they're running the guy across, maybe even faking a jet sweep, or even if it's just a token fake on the jet sweep, right? Yeah. To influence something and then give it to the running back or whatever. Or if the motion is coming in from behind, faking the reverse off the back end, or it's not even purposeful, deceptive motion. Right?
I hear you, yeah. But the only thing I did notice, they ran it once or twice yesterday, was the screen passes. And they worked.
Inside screen to the tailback.
Yeah. And because the defensive line's getting upfield, they have no reason not to get upfield.
Yeah.
Because we're not doing anything to fool them. Yeah. Like you're saying. That's where it comes into the context. It's about the motion would make them at least pause for a second.
Pause. And that's all you need.
That's all you need. Especially with A-chain speed.
Go watch our defense. We pause a lot. Yeah, especially at the linebacker level.
Oh, God, yeah.
And that's the whole thing. You sit in there, and it's like he hears the fact, oh, you got to use more motion.
He just uses it.
And so he's like, okay, here's the motion.
It's not like he knows what he's doing.
But he's not doing anything purposeful with it, right?
Yeah, is he seeing what the defense is running? Is that motion showing him, okay, they're in a zone or they're in a man? It's stuff that you should be able to pick up as either a quarterback or a coach right away, right? Correct. You got to make that. The defense aren't making changes on defense because they already know what we're going to do. You see what I'm saying? It's not like,
it's not effective.
Okay, they ran motion. They know we're in man now. Okay, let's change it up a little bit.
Right.
No, they're not having to do that because we're not changing it up.
It doesn't make, motion the guy across and they motion Lane right into the tight end. Like, do they maybe snap it while he's maybe still in motion with a play action boot and try to hit him in the flats off of the already running start? No, they never do that. That's not in, it's like he's doing it because everybody says he should, but he doesn't understand exactly how to take advantage of it, right? Yeah. And here's my frustration. This is my biggest frustration. Look, this program right now is at its lowest point since it's been in the SEC today. First loss to South Carolina. Are they a better team? Sure, you can say all that all you want to, right? The difference between a good coach, apparently, in Beamer and a bad coach in Jimbo is that Beamer's got his team second year playing a lot better in spite of the lack of talent, right?
Right.
Jimbo's got all the talent in the world, and this program's going in the wrong direction. Oh, they're young. Well, shit, that's your own damn fault.
They've been young every year.
They
got to get older sometime, right?
You would think, but maybe not, because all this young talent might say, "Peace out, see you later, man."
Yeah.
Because they're not having fun playing football.
They look tight.
They are. And look, you go watch the sidelines all over the country, man. Kids are having fun. Mm-hmm. It's like high-fiving. Let's go make some plays. There's a lot of energy. You watch the Aggie sideline, and everybody's like very serious. Like Haynes King's over there and talking.
These are kids, man.
Like loosen up, man.
Game.
It's a game. Loosen up. Go have fun with it.
Well, now's the time to loosen up. The season is lost. Let's get out there, try to have some fun. I don't expect us to win, but maybe one more game. I'm just being honest, shooting from the hip here. You and I talked about it yesterday about who are we going to beat. Wait a minute.
And look, and we'll get into sort of the expectations for the rest of the season, but here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
The worst part about this, and you go listen to Jimbo after the fact in his press conference, and the things he says, he's not changing. He doesn't think that there's anything wrong.
I think there is. Jimbo's realizing it. He looked a little bit more shaky on this news conference than what I've seen him.
For the last 2 weeks, he's looked like he's a beaten man on press conference.
He looks like it really bad. I mean, and he should.
But he has no answers. He has no answers.
I think Jimbo needs to take a step back. Like when you own a business or something, you take a step back, see what's wrong. Because if you're in there all day looking at it, you think that, oh, I know what to do. I know what to do to fix it. But until you sit back and watch it and have other people, like, I'm not saying me or you, just anybody come up to you, tell me what I'm doing wrong. You tell me. I need a fresh set of eyes. I need a fresh set of eyes to go, hey, this is what's wrong. It's your play call. And you got to take it. I mean, it sucks for somebody to tell you you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But you have to sit there and take it. And either you do one or two things. You either make changes and hopefully get better, or you keep doing the same damn thing, which he's been doing. That's where he has to learn. If he keeps doing it, like you said, he's got to go. That's my.
And here's the thing, right? We talked about it. Yeah. We've talked about it before. Look, Dickey is the offensive coordinator. Now, technically, he's the co-offensive coordinator now, but he was the offensive coordinator on this team for a long time. An offensive coordinator by title alone, because the play caller and true offensive coordinator is Jimbo, right? It's his scheme. It's everything else, right? He's calling the plays. So Dickey's on this coaching staff.
Yeah.
He ran a pretty good offense at Memphis, by the way.
Yeah, he did. Scored a lot of points.
It was
explosive. I'm talking like he put guys in the NFL that you never heard of.
And Jimbo doesn't, promote them in this on this team. He doesn't promote them and get them. No, he wants to get Dooley, who, by the way, got fired from being an offensive coordinator in Georgia, right? I mean, the guy,
Georgia had a up-tempo, high-octane offense,
right? And they were horrible under him.
That's what I'm saying.
So my point is, instead, he's like doubling down on his crap scheme, right? Yeah. Let's move the guy that has all this innovation, thoughts, and ideas further down the totem pole. Let's bring in more of the same thinkers as me, And my point is this. He has no intentions of making a change.
Right.
He has no intention of actually taking advice from somebody else in regards to that offense. He's got no intentions of fully blowing the whole thing up and handing over reins.
Well, that's where his boss needs to step in and say either you do this or you got to go. I know we owe him a lot of money.
That's the problem. They can't tell him that.
I think they can.
They can't tell him that because they're not going to pay $90 million.
I bet they would. I'm just.
If your prediction comes true of not one more win this year, that would be the time that they do it. So we'll find out.
Either now, I'm telling you. I was reading an article. 3 coaches have been fired after the South Carolina loss.
Yeah.
Will Muschamp was one of them. And it went through a few other ones. I can't remember who. The coach, Phil Fulmer from Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
They lost after they lost to South Carolina.
That was many years ago.
I'm not saying Jimbo's getting fired after that, but we're 3-4 right now, Leo.
We're 3-4. Look.
We lost to App State. We lost to South Carolina, Alabama, and Mississippi State. Mississippi State, what happened in the last 2 games?
Look, Mississippi State, who did whatever they wanted to against us, and has gotten absolutely annihilated the 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
And an offense that has looked pedestrian
right.
the 2 weeks after.
Right.
They were shut up by Alabama until the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I
saw it.
The whole thing to me is you have to start seeing that you're on a downward hill.
Yeah. Like, you don't have any brakes.
There's no brakes.
You're just going.
You're
picking up speed on the wrong way.
And so the only way to do anything about that is to wreck it, right?
Yeah.
You can either keep on going down the hill, or You can turn the damn wheel, wreck the thing, and hopefully you come out the other end, right?
And I'm telling you, $90 million to our boosters and our fans, it's not as much as you think it is.
You say that, but I'm telling you, that guy's not going anywhere this year.
No,
he could lose to UMass.
Oh God,
he could lose to UMass, and he's not getting fired this year.
I'll fire him if he loses to UMass. I'll go down there and say, Jimbo, you've done a crappy job. You got to go.
Look, this was our strategy back in the day as an offensive coordinator.
What's that?
When I was coaching back in the day, right? Beginning of the season and fall camp, we were 100% about our base running plays, base passing plays. Those are the things that we worked on and perfected.
Right.
If we can't do this, we can't do anything. Mm-hmm. And if we can't do this, then we need to change our base, by the way. We as coaches need to change what we're doing, because if our kids can't execute, then it doesn't really matter how great the X's and O's look, right?
And that's something that we talked about all season, though, and something you just said. He's not changing, and that's the problem. You understand it. I understand it. There's one person that's very important to this team that doesn't understand that.
I was a lowly little high school coach making damn near nothing.
Right.
But I knew that.
Yeah.
Because, look, the kids are the kids.
Yeah.
And if they can't do it, we better do something else.
Yeah.
It's not... You said it before, the whole bang your head against the wall, whatever, right? I mean,
insanity.
Do the same thing over and over again.
Definition of it. You do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, but you get the same one.
And you know what? And he tells us, well, we're practicing great, and it's great effort. So the kids are playing with effort. They're practicing hard. They're doing all the things which would make you think that if you've got talent, you can translate that, but not when what you're trying to get them to do does not fit what they're good at, right? And when it doesn't have any sort of mesh, it just doesn't mesh together. And so I guess my point was, that's what we would do. It would be base. You got a couple of nice, easy opening games. You work more on your base plays. And as you go, you start introducing wrinkles off the base.
That makes sense.
Wrinkles off the base.
That is exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff talked about with Jalen Hurts. They only have so many plays they run, but out of those so many plays, they put little wrinkles to them. But now, okay, what is our base right now? Do we have a base?
The
RPO, pretty much. That's what it seems like. It's not an RPO. It's just
a pass.
Yeah, it's just basically a
pretty much
play out pass.
Their base supposedly is the zone running scheme with the RPO coming off of it, right? That is what I believe he would tell you is their base,
and that's
as
terrible.
As an offense.
That's terrible.
But
our quarterback's not running.
We can't execute it.
Yeah, we don't have a quarterback that scares anybody right now running the ball.
Our offensive line's better at gap scheme blocking than they are at the zone scheme blocking.
We don't have a quarterback that scares anybody throwing the ball. Huh. Our running game doesn't scare anybody because they can load up for that and stop it.
Right.
We have nothing on offense that makes other defensive coordinators go, man. All they can say is they got a lot of talent.
The second part of that piece is important.
What?
Wrinkles off the base. Right? This play looks just like the base play that we are very good at. Except because I know exactly what you're going to do to stop me, I'm going to do a little wrinkle off of that to get a big play. Right?
I hear you.
And slowly as the season goes along, every week you're just adding little things. Not big things. You're not adding, we're going to go all of a sudden and start running the option or whatever. No. Just little wrinkles. Maybe a double move. Maybe another screen. Maybe a reverse. Maybe a reverse pass. Maybe something.
I hear what you're saying, but we're coming into week 8.
Yeah. It's too late.
That's what I'm saying. It's too late to do what you're talking about. And right now, it looks like Connor's going to be our starting quarterback going forward.
It's never too late to do. It's too late to do it that way, but it's never too late to try to figure it out.
It's not too late to try something different.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I understand that. And I did see some positive stuff that we'll go to here in a little bit, but I didn't see a whole lot of positive.
Look, all right, so let me be very clear about this as I'm saying this into this freaking camera. Jimbo is a crap coach. Crap coach. I do not see him turning this thing around, not because of the fact that he hasn't done it so far, but the fact that his words tell me that he's never going to change. His words tell me that he believes what he is doing is the correct thing. He believes he's doing the right thing, in spite of the fact that this offense has gotten worse year in and year out, in spite of better talent.
Yeah.
He believes he's doing the right thing.
That's what kills me. Because last season, we were, 8-4?
8-4.
We lose Calzada. We think we have an upgraded quarterback, right? We lose Green on the offensive line. Now we don't have an upgrade for him.
Right.
But, I can't tell you that one offensive lineman out kills the whole offensive line.
Yeah, and don't tell me, well, it's two because the left tackle left. Everybody hated the freaking left tackle last year.
Well, I'm just telling you.
Right?
Yeah.
Zoom's played better than the guy he's replacing.
I agree. And then 3, we lost Spiller, which, it's a big hit, but A-Chain's he's 99% of our carries.
Yeah.
So, you can't tell me that's a big hit. But our offense looks
You know why it's a big hit, though? Because Jimbo won't use the big back. He won't go in there. He's got to have H. I understand. Look, you
we
don't want
to big back once yesterday, and
once.
I think we got a yard or something on third down.
No, didn't they fumble the snap or something? Had some issue. I don't remember what it wasn't much, or maybe they did, and he didn't get much. But that was the thing about Spiller. He was a change of pace, right? He would set up H.A. man. Because
I'm saying if we had the same players back this year as we did last year, we'd have the same results right now.
We still have the same results.
Because we have the same play call.
Yeah.
Our defense isn't much different than last year's defense.
Our defense is
better.
Our defense
secondary.
We're better talent-wise, but our defensive scheme is not as good.
But we're not. Yeah, our scheme's not as good because the coach.
Yeah.
We lost Elko. But I'm saying our defensive line. We lost a lot of good players. Don't get me wrong, but the guys we have up there, when I saw them,
Mike Clemens making plays in the NFL. By the way.
Well, I saw Turner on the end. Jackson.
Diggs.
Nolan and Diggs is the front four. I said, hey, look at that front four.
And Diggs comes out and gets the strip sack.
I think we got a strip sack right after that. I was like, that's a 4 right there. I can live with Turner, who's not a defensive end.
No, but you got Shamar Stewart that you could replace and put him in there.
But I'm just
Bring
saying,
Turner inside.
I'm not worried about them running the ball on us with those 4 guys up there. Because I think they're going to help, and they're going to help clean holes up. Cooper was out. It's a big loss for yesterday. But still, our defense wasn't the issue.
White was back, though.
Defense wasn't the issue. We gave them a lot of short fields. And our punter, for some reason, didn't have a great game.
He had a bad game, too. And look, we're not going to put this game on the punter, for God's sake.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should.
But here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
And, okay, offensively, number one, those quarterbacks, just you can't look at the numbers and say, well, they didn't play good enough. Those guys have no time.
None.
Haynes King is an absolute trooper because that dude just takes a beating.
He does.
And just gets up and goes and makes another play.
And of all the hits he's taken this year, he gets hurt throwing the ball across his body. I'm like, dude, the guy's getting killed all year, getting hit by a 300-pound defensive lineman, and he throws the ball and hurts himself. That's what I'm saying.
To me, I was actually pretty impressed, and how he was getting rid of the ball at times, like just getting the ball out of his hands with a dude unblocked defensive. What did I say? Yeah. They didn't block the defensive tackle at all. They didn't touch the defensive tackle on one play, and just
they pretty much let him go.
There is no closer line from the defensive side to the quarterback than the defensive tackle.
Wyckoff's like, hey,
and they just let him free.
Free hit, man. Go get it.
And
he still made us nervous. He threw that one pick right at the beginning of the game, but then he's got pressure in his face, and he just kind of lobs it sometimes. And you're like, oh, what's he doing? And then we came down with it. But it makes you.
But it was either that or it was going to be sacked. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And look, the offensive line continues to need a lot of work, mind you.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to me because some of it is in the players that have gotten playing time. Cam Dewberry didn't have a terrible game yesterday. He wasn't the one constantly getting beat. A lot of times it was coming from the Wyckoff Robinson side on over there, right? Not to mention all the false starts, which will...
That's the thing I think started with the offensive line. They couldn't hear the snap. There were 6, 7, 8 false starts. You could tell they were getting off the ball slow, but just because they didn't know when to get off the ball. The ball snapped. They don't know when to get in. So, I mean, they went to a silent count for a little bit when Connor came in. You notice that one series after that? It's gone.
I don't know. And this is my problem. This is my problem. You know you're going on the road.
Yeah.
You know you're going on the road. Is South Carolina known as the most, loud place? No, but they were loud yesterday.
They were loud.
They were loud yesterday. And you did not prepare your team to come out in an environment like that because how do I know you didn't prepare them? Because of what happened on the field.
He didn't have time to prepare him. We had a bye week. You have to go do other stuff during the bye week. He didn't have time. True. I'm just saying. Come on. Jimbo.
It's probably that day that they had the bomb threat.
Yeah, it must have been. So he's got to. I mean, that's what pisses me off. This is off a bye week, and we look worse than we have all year. How does that happen? The 1 week where your coaching's supposed to really take place and get some extra feedback to those players, you come out where the good coaches always win after a bye. You always get those records like, oh, Bill Belichick is 87-2 after a bye or whatever the hell it is. I just made that number up. Oh yeah, I believe it.
Or maybe I knew it off the top of my head.
It's a fact. Since you said it.
Don Shula was 106-5 after a bye week, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I got you.
Jimbo comes out after a bye week and it's the worst game we played.
I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I thought we'd get healthier coming out. It seemed like we got more injuries during the bye week because I didn't know Antonio Johnson was going to be out until game time. Cooper was going to be out until game time. Foster was going to be out until game time.
Yeah, and so in the bye we don't even get healthy, right? I mean, it's pretty crazy.
I mean, we had some players get back in. Don't get me wrong, but White, Chappelle.
Look, and so we can harp on this offense as forever. I can sit here and do a 24-hour podcast on how crappy this offense is, right?
Yes.
And we could go and pull up plays and do all those things. I'm not real sure exactly what's happening behind us, but we can do all those things.
I'm not worried about behind us.
And at the end of the day, we know the problems, right? And we know the problems because they're the same problems we've talked about all season.
Right.
They're the same.
It's coaching, then it goes to the offensive line, then it goes to the quarterbacks. I mean, it's a pattern. It starts here, the coaching. It goes to the offensive line who's not blocking. Then the quarterback doesn't get any time to get rid of the ball. A-Chain doesn't have any holes to run through. The play calling sucks. I mean, it's all. It starts here and goes to the next line. I mean, it goes down. I think we beat this to death with the offense. All right,
so defensively, let's move on to defensively because here's another place where I think that from last year to this year, we're still more talented and less productive, right?
Right.
And I can't tell you how pissed off I get every time they show Durkin on the freaking sideline. And he's like...
I mean, he looked like he did something great when Diggs got that strip sack, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then, that's the same look he gets when they get beat for a whatever.
Yeah. And you know what? They did a pretty good job for most of the day inside, like you said, with the 4 defensive linemen and holding up in those senses. But then, they don't keep contained. Yeah, they don't keep contained. And those guys broke contain I don't know how many times because your overlap player, Damani Richardson, a lot of times, or that whoever that defensive end's out there, or the linebacker scraping over the top, overrunning things or underrunning, like those guys at that level that are supposed to be that linebacker level, because Damani's basically a linebacker, have not gotten any better, man. They have not improved. They're still not disciplined enough to avoid chasing ghosts on that while that offense is doing all their little trickerations and whatever, right?
Right.
They're distracted by the ghosts, and then they're late to the place where they're supposed to be. Consistently.
And that's the thing that upsets me a lot is watching what does work on our defense, like the 4. I mean, because we went to 3 a couple times. Watching the 4-man off our defensive line go, bring in some pressure like Bryce Anderson a time or two, but then they get away from it. And we're like, why'd they quit doing that all of a sudden? I mean, like, you're sitting there watching Rattler sit in the pocket sometimes, and there's no pressure on him.
Right.
Because we're back in coverage, but why can't we do something that works?
And that to me is another part of it, right? You sit in there, and it's okay. Even with the 4-man line, it's a passing situation on 3rd down. And you just sit back. And sometimes they drop the defensive end back into coverage and only bring 3 and this and that. And it's like, What are you doing, man?
I mean,
because when they sit back there and have time, which they look, anytime we brought 3, that's been the case. I don't care.
Yeah, they have time. He can either run the ball or he can.
And they play a little soft zone behind him, right? Mm-hmm. And that soft zone gets eaten up. We suck at zone.
Because, I mean, there was one play in particular. It was like 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. They ran a little pass, short pass, and the guy ran for 11, 12 yards, got the first down, the drive kept going. And you're just like,
yeah, he just hooked it up at the first down marker. Here we go, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think our defense killed us. I mean, they helped us more than anything.
They did.
But they were in bad situations. That's what we talked about.
They were in bad situations.
You can't put them in those situations. I mean, they held them to a field goal
on the interception.
And then they gave up a touchdown, that short field, that running play right at the middle. But you can't fault the defense for having to go. It's like the whole game, their backs against the wall.
Yeah.
Like
no, absolutely.
Their punter was amazing. Their punter was putting us in situations. Our punt game, I think he shanked one to the 50 one time.
No, I don't think he was getting to the 50.
God damn, it was just...
Look, and so defensively, did we play all right? Yeah, I think we played all right. We played
one of our best, but it was okay.
And at the end, they were getting worn down because that last drive, I mean, they were just going to pound it, and they did what they did, right? So they got worn down as the game went along. Mm-hmm. That in-between place, once we were down 17-0 until we were back, sort of within a score. I mean, they played a pretty good stretch there, second, third quarter type of time period, and then they gave up. But there's little things, man, little things that they, Santucci as the linebacker coach has done absolutely nothing, right? Those linebackers have not gotten any better. They're third-year guys, fourth-year guys. White's a fourth-year guy. Lee's third-year guy. Cooper's a third-year guy. Everybody, he's a sophomore. Well, he's a redshirt sophomore, by the way. Right? Russell's a third-year guy, fourth-year guy, I think, actually. So some of these guys have been in the program for a while, being coached by Tyler Santucci at the linebacker spot for a while. Co-defensive coordinator. He must be spending too much time coordinating and not enough time coaching his linebackers.
Right.
Because those guys haven't gotten any better. And we've always talked about it, right? That group for those linebackers, it should be easy peasy. Mm-hmm. It should be easy peasy because they've got the defensive line is good, is protecting them, and the secondary in the back behind them is pretty good, so they can focus in on one thing and go.
Yeah.
And just go let them play. But no, they got them doing all these little drops, and then they drop into coverage, and they're just sitting there covering grass. They don't even look for receivers. They don't look for receivers. They're just standing there in the grass like, hey, I'm just going to take up some space here. Right? Don't come to me.
Now, see, what we've done now, what Jimbo's done, it's all his fault. Our expectations were way up here.
Yeah.
Now, Jimbo's got all the fans and everybody at a situation where our expectations are way down here.
Yeah.
Now's the time for him, if he's going to make changes and do something crazy, it's the time to do it. Because our expectation levels right now, going into Ole Miss, I don't expect much.
Yeah.
I don't expect us to win. I don't expect us to move the ball. I expect our defense to be bit in bad situations. We might give up a kickoff return. Lane might onside kick it the whole game. He might get it every time. Might as well. That's my expectations. And I think every Aggie's expectations, they're a football fan.
But Lane should actually kick it off every time because we're going to give him the ball back.
Yeah, he's going to get a short field. That's what I'm saying. Our expectations are very low right now. So now's the time for Jimbo. Surprise us. Do something totally surprising. Do something before the season's over to give us something to believe in. Right?
You would think so, but he's not going to change. So he's not going to change.
Okay.
And look, and this defense was without Antonio Johnson. That's obviously a huge loss. Without Cooper, big loss.
White came back.
White came back, though.
Played well, I thought.
And played well. But we had the guys on the outside. I mean, Jalen Jones was there. Chappelle was there.
Jones was the big tackle.
Yeah.
On that one
outside. Absolutely. Gilbert was in there. Damani was in there, right? Mm-hmm. And here's another thing. Look,
Anderson.
Kerr started in place of AJ. Kerr started in place of AJ, and he's a solid ball player. You can tell he's going to be a really good ball player. Bryce Anderson got in there and made like 3 plays in the backfield, and then you don't see him the rest of the day.
Yeah, he's making the coaching staff look bad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he can't do it.
He's making too many plays.
Can't do it. You got to think about what you just said. That changes the norm. That changes the norm here.
All right. Look.
Go ahead.
This is my last point on this Aggie game, by the way.
Yeah.
For now.
The point.
my last overall takeaway on this Aggie game. South Carolina hasn't had a top 25 recruiting class ever. I'm exaggerating.
Well, no. But I mean, I think it was back with Curse. Go ahead.
Aggies haven't had a class that's been outside of the top 10 since Jimbo's first class. The talent discrepancy between these two teams is enormous.
It didn't look that much different in that game.
It did not, did it?
No.
Which goes to show you, and here's my point. I don't care if you recruit or don't recruit. I don't care. Aggies will always be able to recruit in the top 25 at the very worst, right?
Right, yeah.
I don't care if you can recruit or don't recruit. If you cannot develop players and put them in a scheme that is going to make them successful and have that consistency, you are not a good coach. And I don't care how well you recruit.
Yeah.
And coaches don't get paid to recruit. Sure they do, I'm sure. There's some of them that get paid a lot of money and then go pay it to the kids.
Right. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. But now with NIL, they don't even have to. They just tell their boosters to go do it.
Yeah, exactly.
They get paid to get this team ready week to week, and I don't care who the higher recruit is. I don't care what class they are. I don't care, anything.
Yeah.
Stars don't mean shit, right? South Carolina proved it because all those 3-star players whooped our ass yesterday.
App State proved it.
App State, with all those 3-star players, whooped our 2-star players, whooped our ass. Anaya Smith has proven it over and over again on this team for us. Yeah. I don't care about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because good coaches win and change programs today. Today. Immediately.
So what do you do to fix this right now? Seriously, what do you do?
Nothing. We're stuck.
That's how you feel?
Jimbo's not going to change.
That's what I'm saying. If Jimbo's not going to change, somebody above him has to make that call.
I think you're waiting 2 more years.
Nah, I don't think.
The rest of this year and at least 1 more.
I don't think this fan base will wait 2 more years.
At least 1 more year after this.
I don't know. I think this might be it.
So, guys, I'm in a very positive mental state, as you can see, Corey.
Yeah.
Very positive mental state. Look at the smile. You see that?
Yeah.
Very positive. And I love my Aggies, baby. I love my Aggies. And I love those players. I think we've got talent through the roof. That's my problem. I think our talent is through the roof. And those guys I feel bad for because they're not even enjoying their time playing football.
I hear you.
They're not even enjoying it. Go watch them on the sidelines, and they all look depressed.
Oh, yeah.
And every time they come off the field, Jimbo's yelling at them.
No, they're young.
It's
young players. You got to scare them a little bit. But at the same time, okay, let me ask you a question, changing subject real quick. How did Connor do? I've been asking for him for a while. What do you think? He completed the first 2 passes for 8 yards. Wasn't much.
He was put in a horrible position, right?
Terrible.
Look, he was put in a horrible position, and then Jimbo comes out and it's all pass. Like he doesn't help him at all.
Right.
You've got a freshman quarterback that hasn't played a single down, and you come out and expect him to sit back, not even like play action pass or roll out, boots, which an easy little throw to the flats or on the out, something that's automatic, not a wide receiver screen that he can just get his balls out. Nothing to get him into the game, right? Nope. We're gonna drop him back, nothing, and have him read a defense and go
offensive line that's not protecting.
An offensive line that's not protecting.
Yeah.
So
he did,
but I thought he
did tuck it and run once there towards the end of the game. I think if he would have been our starter the whole year, we would have seen it during Connor, of course. But I think he's our starter moving forward. I don't know how bad Haynes' injury is, but Connor's going to get beat up. I think it's going to be part of it.
Here's my prediction for you.
Go ahead.
And I do think Connor ends up being news. Connor probably ends up making the starts here on out, right?
Yeah.
But here's my prediction.
Go ahead.
Haynes Keene's going to transfer somewhere and get drafted.
No, he's not. Not with the form. Not with his throwing form. He is not getting drafted.
He is.
Maybe in baseball.
No.
Because that way he's bringing that ball back and no,
he's gonna go play for.
I'll bet you right now
he's gonna go play somewhere else. Let me figure out where he goes plays first.
Negative.
And he's gonna end up being a Heisman candidate and get drafted.
Okay.
So there you go.
Right. Start calling you Alice. It's like Wonderland. Not happening. That is not happening. You heard it from me.
Yeah. You heard it from him.
Yeah, it's not happening. He's not getting drafted.
You know who else is not getting drafted? Any quarterback that's playing under Jimbo Fisher over the next 4 years.
Connor.
No, he won't.
Oh, yeah.
Because Jimbo's going to screw him up too.
He's too good.
Around the country.
Go.
And this is the most frustrating piece. We watch all these games, man. And nobody has the problems that the Aggies have.
Seriously.
The Aggies have. That's right, I'm a freaking Aggie.
God.
Nobody has the problems the Aggies have.
No.
On offense.
No.
Ever.
K-State brings in a backup quarterback against TCU. A guy we never heard of. Moves the ball down the field like it's nothing.
Nothing.
It's like, hey, where's Martinez? Oh, hell, I don't know.
And don't tell me, well, it's Big 12 defenses, because we look the same versus App State's defense, versus Sam Houston's defense, versus,
anybody.
Like, it's all the same. All right. Around the country. Yep. Look, Ohio State, slow start against Iowa. They got a bunch of short fields to start it out, and were held to field goals. But all of a sudden, they get a pick six, and boom.
Game's over.
And the...
spread of that game was 30. They beat them 54 to what? 10?
54 to 10. Yeah. And we knew Iowa wasn't going to score, right?
Yeah.
We knew Iowa.
Oh, it was obvious. I mean, Iowa's offense might be right there with the Aggies.
So Ohio State and Michigan are setting up a big time matchup at the end of the year.
I like Ohio State.
With a chance to send 2 Big Ten teams to the championship.
Well, there's a chance you could send 2 or 3 SEC teams the way it's looking. I'm not saying 3, but I'm just saying there's 3 in the mix. There's 3 in the mix.
Are there?
Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama.
Yeah, but all 3 of those aren't going.
No, that's what I'm saying, but 2 of them might. And you're saying the same thing about the Big Ten.
Well, yeah.
I'll tell you what. If the Pac-12 has anybody go, who would that be? Nobody. Everybody's lost a game, right?
Everybody's lost the game. I'll tell you this,
TCU,
and we can go to Pac-12 real quick. Oregon just beats the mess out of UCLA. I mean, that was UCLA couldn't stop anything Oregon wanted to do.
No,
it was they ran the ball.
Best I've seen.
They threw the ball. Bo Nix was incredible.
He looked like the Bo Nix they had praised coming out of high school. I mean, he was impressive.
I thought Oregon looked great. And look, they got their butts handed to them by Georgia, but that was the first game of Lanning's program. Lanning's done a great job now.
Being a new school, yeah.
With what they've done and changed up over there. So that's pretty good.
Yep.
I don't know if they have a chance to make it to the playoffs, but they went out and they're at least in the conversation, I think.
Oregon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the fact that their loss was early.
Yeah.
First game against Georgia, who's probably gonna, go undefeated, right?
Right.
So just a thought.
I mean, Tennessee, they still gotta play Tennessee. I don't know if they play Kentucky yet or not. Can't remember. But either way, I hear you. I mean, there's still some of the teams that have a notch above them, TCU and Clemson's. They're pretty much, if they win out, I think Clemson and TCU both get in. If they win out.
That's a good point. Speaking of Clemson, dude, they are getting soundly beat by Syracuse in that game.
Syracuse moving the ball.
Moving the ball up and down the field against that vaunted defense and yada, yada, yada. I mean, they're running with power.
And that quarterback.
The quarterback's throwing some nice ball.
I was impressed with Syracuse.
And
somehow
the quarterback for Clemson, DJ, that guy was horrible.
Sucks.
They make the change. They bring in Klubnik, the freshman.
Klubnik. Yeah.
And
he threw 2, or he did. I mean, he looked better. He looked a lot better.
He brought him back.
And you heard what Dabo said.
What he said.
DJ's his quarterback moving forward.
Well, we'll see.
He's our starter.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Very
short leash.
Get over here. And then, obviously they have to win out, but they've got a chance to make the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I don't see too many hurdles in their way.
And they're not going to be left out if they're undefeated because they're Clemson.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Clemson, TCU, both being in the conference, ACC, Big 12. That's what the committee wants. They want...
Right. 1-1-1-1-1.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We'll leave the Pac-12 out again and do 1-1-1. That's what they'll do.
Bama dominates Mississippi State. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Mississippi State absolutely crushes the Aggies.
Yeah.
We can't do anything against them. They can do whatever they want. And Bama basically shuts them out until the fourth quarter.
I mean, the final score was 30-6. I mean, it was worse than that.
Yeah.
I mean, Bama's defense, I don't know how we scored points.
I think
after watching it.
I think they stopped scoring at halftime. Bama.
Yeah.
Except for the last touchdown. I think they got
24-0.
Yeah, that's crazy. LSU absolutely dominates Ole Miss.
Second half.
In the second half, right? That was that game. Well, actually, after an early couple of scores by Ole Miss, right? They were up 17-3.
23, 17-3, something like that. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I think LSU scores 42 out of the next 45 or something.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
Very right. Yeah.
And that offense is looking good.
I don't know about looking good.
No.
Their defense looks good.
Their defense look good. Their offense look good. They are soundly better than the Aggies right now.
It's a shame they don't have a good coach.
Yeah. TCU, you talked about it, another comeback win. They get behind in the first half and then they just
matter.
boom, boom, boom,
Doesn't
boom
matter.
plays. They keep on going, man.
I mean, they're downfield the whole time. I mean, their running back impressed me. But, I mean, the teams don't know what to look for. Like, they don't know if this guy's going to throw it deep, he's going to throw it short, is he going to run with the ball, is he going to hand it off? You don't know.
Don't know.
But Aggies, that's the problem. You know exactly what we're going to do. RPO. Oh, he's not going to hand it off. I can't believe that. See, that's the thing.
So I said I only had one piece of good news all day.
Yeah.
For Aggie fans, they're going to enjoy it. This is what they're going to hang their hat on.
Don't say the Longhorns.
Longhorns lose to Okie State, right? Longhorns lose to Okie State.
What's worse, losing to Okie State or losing to South Carolina?
Definitely losing to South Carolina.
I think so, too.
But you know how Aggie fans are.
Yeah.
Jimbo's better than Sarkisian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jimbo would have whooped Oklahoma State's ass.
Yeah. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Anything that stood out to you around the country?
It's nothing you can put on there. Duke, Miami, Florida is a lot worse than we thought they were. That's
Hey,
one of our big
the Fighting
wins.
Elcos are having a good season.
That was an ass whooping.
Fighting Elcos having a good season.
I'll tell you, the Pac-12 I think is done for the college football playoff. The Big Ten, Ohio State looked good. Michigan was off.
A loss by TCU gets the Pac-12 back into a conversation.
A conversation, but right
As
now,
long as Oregon wins out.
Yeah. If they win out, but if the Big 12 and Pac-12 have won losses, you're going to see either two teams from the SEC or maybe two from the Big Ten. You'll have Clemson. That's my.
But I think at that point you're now in a discussion, right? They're in that room saying, okay,
somebody's gonna get
one loss Michigan, one loss TCU, one loss Oregon. Like who's, Well,
that Oregon loss is going to come way back heavy if Georgia ends up with a loss. And that's what they can't have to hope for. Oregon's going to be like, God, if Georgia loses, then they beat us.
Yeah.
How are they going to put us in over Georgia?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do it.
All right, questions from the Tailgate brought to you by Carney's Pub and Grill. Good times, good drinks, good people. Go visit the folks over at Carney's. Tell them we sent you.
Wait, before you get done, we didn't talk about it. What you said we're going to come back to it. How many games are you going to win the rest of the season?
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Expectations for the rest of the season, Corey. Question number one for the Tailgate.
No, not bad.
Expectations for the rest of the season.
UMass.
So one win. Look. Ole Miss.
Loss.
Auburn. Florida.
Auburn looked pretty good in that one game. Who did they play last game?
LSU. And UMass. That's the 5 games remaining.
Yeah.
How many are we favored?
UMass.
We're favored against UMass.
Are we playing Auburn at home?
We play Auburn at...
If we play them here, we might be favored against Auburn. If we, let's see.
We're on the road against Auburn, actually.
Here, I'll tell you. We're at home against Florida. We might be favored against Florida for some reason.
But is it a lock? Any of those a lock, by the way?
UMass.
Are you?
UMass.
No. Take UMass out of the equation.
No, I'm just telling you, UMass a lot.
Is there any of those SEC games a lock?
No.
So this team, you're telling me, could
SEC
possibly...
team we played was South Carolina, and they beat us.
So this team could possibly end the season 4-8?
You can only hope so. Is that what get everybody talking about?
Firing Jimbo? Yeah. 4-8's your hope, huh?
I mean, I wish I could be sitting in a room with all those donors right now, hearing what they say. You know?
Hey, I got $20 towards firing Jimbo. So you whatever that $90 million is, you subtract 20 from that, I'll give that contribution.
Damn right. I'm
20
right there
from
with
him,
it.
we're 40 in.
That's right.
Look, expectations for the rest of the season. They're not good, right? I mean, look, we're not beating Ole Miss this coming week. I mean,
no.
Unless literally Jimbo
gives over everything.
Yeah.
Stays at home.
Stays home. Yeah,
they tell Jimbo to go on vacation, we might have a chance.
Maybe.
And Durkin. They tell Jimbo and Durkin, both of them, hey, y'all go somewhere and recruit, do whatever. I don't give a shit.
That's good.
Go to another country.
Go let them recruit.
Yeah, go recruit.
I bet you Jerkins a good recruiter.
I bet he is. He smiles the whole time.
Yeah, he smiles.
Shaking.
Tell you whatever you want to hear.
Hands or whatever it is. Yeah.
Look, they're not gonna beat Ole Miss this coming week. They're not.
No. Ole Miss moves the ball too well on offense.
They're gonna score too many points,
and we can't.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah, that's it.
They're not gonna beat LSU at the end of the season.
No.
LSU is rounding into form.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They got two losses. They got two losses. The first one against Florida State, they shouldn't have been a loss because they fumbled it away on some punts. Right.
And Tennessee.
And then Tennessee beat them pretty good. But that team.
Yeah.
You can see an improvement.
Exactly. That's what we need.
It's not like Jaden Daniels is a superstar quarterback.
No.
But he's looking good and he's productive.
Well, Kelly knows his strengths and weaknesses. That's what a good leader does. He knows people's strengths and weaknesses. Okay, this is what he's strong at. Let's get him out of the pocket. Let's get him running around and
so we're not beating LSU at the end of the season.
No, that's two.
And that's at home, right?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
That's at home?
Yeah.
Auburn and Florida. There's your two games.
Auburn, I think, beats us. I watched Auburn play against a couple weeks ago. I told you, and they move the ball. We don't.
Look,
they have a good running game.
Their running game is pretty solid.
Their offensive line's better than ours. Anybody that has an offensive line better than ours is going to beat us.
Their defense is pretty stout up front, but they don't. I'll tell you this. I'll give Auburn. I'll make Auburn. That to me is a toss-up, right?
I'll tell you what. Counting UMass, I think we might win 2 more games this year. 2.
You need 3 for a bowl game, by the way.
Shit, we ain't going to bowl. Even if we do, we'll find a reason not to go. Did it last year.
All right. There's your expectations for the rest of the season. I just want to go. This is my expectation. I want to see the kids have a good time. I want to see them out there playing loose, just having fun, and doing what they do, man.
I don't know if we have any more questions from the tailgate, but I have one for you too. Go ahead. What's your next one?
When does Jimbo get fired?
Well, if we lose to UMass, I'd call that one.
If we lose to UMass, Jimbo will get fired.
Yes.
Okay.
If we go 4, I think if we go 4-8 at the end of the season, and we're 3-4 right now, if we win one more game, maybe even 2, it might be enough. When's the last time the Aggies had a losing season?
This is the 2022 season, football season?
Yeah.
Jimbo gets fired after the 2023 football season.
I don't think it makes much of a difference. I have another question for you before you go.
Maybe 2024.
Is this season, are players talking about transfer portal right now? Are we losing anybody?
See, this is why all of a sudden this becomes a big question, the whole expectations for the rest of the season.
Because like I told you, we had a lot of freshmen on the field. A lot. I mean, not both sides of the ball.
If your name is Marshall, if your name is Stewart, if your name is
Connor,
I mean, why would you stay? Why would you stay? Because
you're already getting paid.
The only reason to stay is, but no, because at the end of the day, those guys' ultimate goal is to get to the NFL. 100%.
Yeah.
Get to the NFL. And Jimbo's not going to get him there.
Okay.
He's not. Stewart, who should be a first-round pick at some point in his career, is going to end up being a fifth-round pick and get lost in the mix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
A-Chain, who should be a second-round pick right now, is going to end up being a sixth-round pick.
Yeah. Probably.
You see what I'm saying?
I see it 4th or 5th yet, but I see it.
Connor, who everybody's talking about how good and talented and yada, 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 he may go undrafted because by the end
so my question, how many guys are we going to lose after this season?
I'm going to say that especially the offensive recruits, there's going to be a nice number.
So this season's killing ourselves for next season.
Yeah, because you're also not recruiting offensive right now. Offensive skill.
That's what this season is doing to us. We were building up,
guys.
We got to the top of the hill. We're going.
Aggies, look, we're sunshine and rainbows around here, baby.
Is it?
Sunshines and rainbows. We love you. We love you, Ags. Gig 'em. AP. C Money.
Adios.
From the tailgate.